What's up, guys? Good evening. Wait lang, ha. Give me just a few minutes to just set up. Guys, pa-comment naman if so yes, una muna, good evening to everyone. What's up? What's up? Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend. Guys, pa-comment naman, clear ba yung audio? Tsaka naglalag ba ako? Sorry late, nag-announce na 8 mag-start pero ang sama nung lag ko kanina pa. So, ngayon lang ata naging okay. Pa-comment na lang if naglalag pa ako or something. And if the audio is clear. Para lang sure tayo before we start. Sige, teka. Antayin ko yung comment niyo kung clear. So, clear. No lag. Okay yung audio. How about the video? Naglalag ba yung video? Kanina yung video yung problema eh. Or okay na? Smooth naman ang connection. Shit, salamat. Kanina pa ako ng problema. Alam mo, okay na. Salamat. Thanks, guys. So, yun. Good evening, mga ka-Investa. Welcome back to another weekly charting session with us dito sa Investa. And yeah, so before we move forward with our charting session, syempre good evening sa inyo lahat. Baka medyo mahalata nyo, medyo may supon ako. Medyo sakto na yung pakiramdam ko. So share ko na lang ano nangyari mamaya. But today before we start, actually wala ngayon si Mr. Renzo, no? Si Renzo Biceps Malaki. Nasa gym. Nagbubuhat. So, actually today, I am joined by one of my teammates. Ngayon, kung follow nyo kami sa TikTok, I think kilala nyo siya. Pero first time lang niya lumabas sa live session. Trader din. And ayun, very excited to be with us today. So before we start, gusto ko lang i-introduce yung teammate ko who will be joining us tonight. So, Cheska, lalabas na ito sa stream. So guys, hi naman tayo kay Cheska.
Hello! Good evening, everyone. I'm Cheska. Really excited na mag-charting session tayo ngayong gabi.
Yan. So, Cheska, I think this is the first time na may meet ka no trading community. So maybe pwede ka magpakilala real quick something about you, how long you've been trading, maybe ano yung trading style mo.
Okay, actually I've been trading for about 2 years already. So since I'm also like a student ngayon, kaya medyo pinagsabay rin yung studies and trading, 'di ba? Kaya medyo mahirap talaga. Pero as much as possible, I try to pili ng mga stocks na pwede rin na monitor. So if may time, I do yung mga quick trading. Tapos if wala naman, I focus more on sa mga blue chips or sa mga pili invest. Other than PSEI also, of course, crypto rin tayo, crypto. Pero more on sa crypto, investing lang ako. So, bili ng yung mga ETH, BTC, parang ganon.
Yun. Sarap kasi all-time high ngayon, di ba?
Oo,
medyo
diba?
all-time high levels, Bitcoin tsaka Ethereum. Solid. Congrats. Sige. So, game guys, feel free to start sending in your chart request. So, lalabas ko na yung chart. Teka. So, before we move on sa individual start requests, we can let's start muna as usual with the PSEI. So, Cheska, usually ganito yung galawan, no? Pag kasama ko si Renzo. Usually ako yung nag-chart, tapos ikaw magko-comment ka lang, then I'll draw whatever levels you're looking at. So, maybe we can start with the PSE. So, Cheska, ano ba tingin mo ngayon sa index natin, or sa general market? What's your opinion on where we're heading?
Actually, we just like ended the 6-day rally, di ba, sa Friday. Pero I believe that naman siya, parang healthy correction lang. Pero overall, may resistance tayo makikita dito sa 7.3 to 7.4, 7.4, di ba? Pero I believe that investors or traders are just really taking advantage of course, like taking profit, di ba? Profit taking lang. Basically, given na Saturday and Sunday. But then like overall, I'm really optimistic sa PSEI. Kasi di ba makita natin na nag-decline na yung number ng COVID-19 cases, tapos yung NCR reopening na, tapos increased number of vaccination pa. But then if dito sa chart, like focusing lang ha, I could like see three scenarios. Hindi kasi masyadong klaro. Open ko yung Investa ko dito. So, I think pwede na mag-retest tayo, bumalik sa previous resistance na sa 7,000. Pwede rin tayo na mag-respect lang dito. So, minor pullback lang sa EMA 9. Or pwede rin na tomorrow, shoot up na talaga at mag-break yung 7.3 to 7.4 na level. Ikaw ba, what do you think?
Yeah. So good insights, good insights. Maganda yung meron kang tatlong scenarios, right? I think something that happens even to me sometimes is I only look at one scenario. So I'm not mentally prepared for if we go down or if we go up. So ang tingin ko sa PSEA ngayon. So yeah, correct. We're at right now we're at resistance. So we broke above and sustained above that 7,000 level. Yun yung pinaka-crucial. And now at least for this longer base starting yung high nung November, we're right there. So tama, there's a certain level of profit taking that's happening now. But overall, think okay naman. If we look at the weekly chart, ito yung gusto ko i-highlight. So weekly chart. If we look at the longer term chart, and maybe we draw a trend line here. Diba? Nandun na eh. If body to body lang, breakout na. Pero if you want to include the wick, ayan, medyo nandun na sa resistance level. So I think this next week or next 2 weeks, medyo make or break para sa Philippine market. And, Boss Mark, good evening. So, ako naman, yung opinion ko sa PSE, so may magandang points na sinabi si Cheska. Cheska, di ako nagdalag, di ba?
Hindi naman.
Okay. Kami, Cheska, mga 15 minutes kami nag-uusap before the live. So, lag ako ng lag. So, number one, siguro kung positive, tama, di ba? COVID, bumababa. Gulat nga ako, hindi kasi ako lumalabas ng bahay. Kaya akala ko 20,000 cases per day pa rin. Yung pala nasa mga 5 to 7 na. Which is technically not good kapag compare mo sa buong mundo. Pero at least bumababa na, di ba? And then, reopening, may mga reopening stuff na nangyayari. Right? And overall, that's good news in that aspect. Pero, parang, paulit-ulit lang sinasabi yung aspect na yun. Lahat nakatingin sa side na yun. So, ako, ang nasa utak ko, ano ba yung baka hindi nakikita from a macro perspective na nangyayari ngayon sa market? Siguro one thing that a lot of people may not be talking about is the potential tapering na mangyayari sa US. Diba? And I'm in no way, shape, or form a macro guy. But I at least try to be aware of what's happening, whether it's reading sa Bloomberg or listening sa open journal, sa mga sessions namin. And one thing that's happening with the tapering, so tapering, hindi ko na explain na mahaba, it's when quantitative easing, medyo humihina siya, right? Less money is being is being put into the system. And when that happens, what happens? If I'm not mistaken, the US dollar goes higher. The valuation of the US dollar goes higher. I don't know if I'm saying this right. And then if the US dollar goes higher, obviously that's bad for emerging markets. Bakit? Because if US dollar goes higher, it's more expensive for foreign investors to participate in emerging markets. And the Philippines is parang 50 or 60% ng volume nang gagaling sa foreign, di ba? Yeah, I hope I said that right, if my memory was correct. So, I'm looking at that as a potential parang bearish case. So, I'm just putting that out there na parang may ganun na scenario. So,
yeah,
that's
to add into that, ha? Kasi I read something kasi, di ba, nung nag-start ang pandemic, of course, isa sa yung parang pag-address ng Fed is yung quantitative easing, so QE. So ngayon, kasi masyado na maraming nag-print ng money sila, so of course, they have to solve this also by tapering. So I think I read this also sa news na yung mga investors, yung mga traders ay parang medyo nagpapanik sila kasi what happened nung may tapering, I guess like years ago also na medyo na-affected talaga yung market. Pero ngayon, I think pakonti-onti gusto ng Fed na hindi na maulit yung nangyari sa nakaraan. So ngayon they started also na sa November mag-start na raw yung tapering, but then paunti-unti na para hindi yung ma-shock yung market.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, yung tapering is a keyword ngayon na lumalabas lalo sa Twitter and stuff. So if hindi ko na explain ko ano yun, pero aralin niyo lang, di ba? But of course, at the end of the day, price pa rin tayo, and price is telling us na ayan, kung balik ko sa weekly, kung body to body lang, nag-breakout na. So at the end of the day, even if may bias tayo sa index or anything, syempre bottom up pa rin. At least ako, bottom up pa rin. So if may setup, titirahin ko pa rin, di ba? So focus pa rin sa leaders, focus sa outliers, di ba? Kasi malakas naman yung market natin eh. Di ba? Nagka-shift na last week to property tsaka financial sector. So let's keep looking for those leaders, those going to new highs, those breaking out. And I'm sure magagatasan mo yung strength ng market. So, game. Let's start to the individual stock request. Guys, starting today, may share lang ako. Mayroon na kami laging ipopost sa platform na ito. So guys, I will prioritize the comments here first as promised. So yan, we'll go through these stocks sa mga nag-comment dito sa platform, right? So if gusto nyo umabol, comment nyo na lang before we move on sa live comments natin. So start tayo with FNI. Okay, game. Teka, babalik ko lang sa FNI. So if we, siguro, sige, ako na siguro mag-start. FNI, sakto lang. Parang I don't, it's in a larger sideways base. Medyo sumasayaw lang dito sa support. So di ko siya masyado priority considering na there are other, di ba, other stocks, other leaders that are going to new highs or breaking out. Ito sumasayaw lang. So baka ako dito, pass muna ako dito. Ikaw, Cheska, ano tingin mo sa FNI?
Actually, ako, if I look at the stocks kasi, I prefer yung above sa EMAs talaga, EMA 9, 20, 50, 100. So dito, medyo pass muna rin. Kasi para sa akin, if pa-downtrend talaga yung stock, medyo mahirap pag-trade. So I guess we could look for other, di ba, mga setups na pwede.
Yeah. Right, other opportunities. Next sa list, hindi ko na papakita, pero ang next doon si Wilcon. So,
yeah.
Wilcon, sige Cheska, ikaw muna. Na-trade mo ba to si Wilcon?
Actually, I bought pero hindi pa. Actually, hindi. I bought dito sa EMA, ano ba to? EMA 20. Dito sa EMA 20. Kasi I thought na parang EMA 20 pullback lang siya. Pero hindi naman pa natamaan yung cut loss, kaya hold pa rin hanggang yun. So for now, I think parang pa-sideways lang siya, and as long as hindi siya bababa sa MA50, then I think goods pa. Ikaw ba, what do you think?
So you bought it recently lang?
Oo,
on the pullback. Okay, I see.
Yung pag-pullback.
So you're looking for a pullback trade. Okay. Tama naman, medyo nag-stabilize na ulit yung prices. Less volatility, especially after the news. Tapos medyo tumatahimik na. So ako, Wilcon, ako sakto lang. So if sumama kayo sa charting session mga 3 weeks ago, panalo ako sa pustahan namin ni Renzo. So, bumagsak si Wilcon. Right? But anyway, ako Wilcon, sakto lang feeling ko it's run its course, at least for the short term. At least in your opinion ko, given na lumabas sa yung news, tapos medyo nagka-climax stop na. Pero, tapos nagka-shift ng pera towards yung finance stocks tsaka yung property stocks. But ako sakto lang ako kay Wilcon, actually medyo nag-hold lang siya. So tama si Cheska, as long as it holds, siguro bigger picture above 26 na area, baka pwede mag-accumulate habang tahimik pa, habang wala na masyado namamansin dito. Though doesn't mean hindi siya mag-breakdown or anything, but for me, EMA 50 yun yung make or break. Kasi during the entire trend, kung from a trend follower perspective lang, ever since a new all-time high, never naman siya nag-below ng EMA 50. Nire-respect lang niya. So, a big warning sign for me kay Wilcon if it closes below EMA 50 on larger than usual volume on the downside. Diba? So, ngayon, medyo chill lang ako kay Wilcon. But my opinion is baka it's run its course, at least for the short term. Pero, tingnan natin. Okay, tapos, next. Ito.
Ano ba yan?
Shell PH.
Shell.
Sige, ikaw na mauna, Cheska. Tingin mo sa Shell PH.
Actually, before dito sa trade day, before of course sa charting, di ba, babasa ako sa news. Tapos nakita ko, ang mahal na raw ng gas ngayon. So of course, di ba, ma-align natin yung Shell and of course, Picor and oil. So with that, I think na higher cost, maraming mga benefits or may mga businesses na affected dito sa pagtaas ng oil and coal, di ba? Tapos meron yung mga benefit. So isa dito is yung mga SEC, tapos yung parent company niya, di ba, yung DMSCI. Tapos of course, ito talaga yung Shell and then yung Picor. So overall, I think na way in rin sa market kaya tumaas. Pero ngayon pullback muna. If you want to enter, I think wala pa akong for me personally wala pa akong makitang setup.
Yeah. So tama si Cheska, the price of oil has been, WTI. The price of oil has been going up recently. Kung nakikita niyo sa news, parang every week tumataas yung presyo ng gas, right? And si oil, very clear uptrend. So kung meron nag-trade ng oil sa global markets, congrats. If you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, oil has not went above that 80 level ever since, anong year ba? 2014? So, halos 7-8 year high na rin for oil. And, syempre, mga nag-benefit dyan, as mentioned by Cheskas, isa na si Shell PH. Although, at this point, syempre, yung proper buy point would be the break of this downtrend line. So, at this point, if wala pa ako nito, maybe ako, tingin ko, lalakas pa yung oil, tingin ko magsusustain pa. Di syempre, baka may play pa, di ba? Baka di pa huli. Kaya Shell PH. So, tingin ko, continuation pattern lang. Kasi medyo extended na, no, from its previous breakout. So, ngayon, medyo pumulback siya na matindi, no, Friday. I was looking for some sort of continuation pattern to form, whether it's a Darvas box, maybe a falling wedge. So, short-term important dyan for me is mag-hold siya above ng EMA 20. If it holds above EMA 20, then maybe you can wait for a potential setup to form. But of course, if you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, nakita mo na long-term, syempre, downtrend siya. So usually, if I'm trading a stock, at least noon, na sa PSE, if it's downtrending, I usually like to sell it into strength. So lagi ko ina-highlight sa may mga potential resistances, no? So maybe you can look at somewhere close to 27 if may upside pa dyan. So upside mo close to 20%. So siguro, since tignan na rin natin si Shell, spot na rin natin si Picor.
Picor.
So, just kaya ka muna. Ano tingin mo sa Picor?
Yeah, actually, medyo same sa Shell, di ba, na tumaas, tapos ngayon, medyo nag-pull back. So for now, wala pa talaga akong makita ang setup. Gusto ko kasi yung parang may, pwede siya na mag-break dito. If I want, maybe, baka I'll wait na mag-break siya dito sa 4.10 something. Dyan, Tapos, or pwede rin na mag-wait na lang muna ako ng pullback rin. Dito sa, if possible nga, baka sa, wait lang ha, mga 3.8 if possible, which is like yung previous resistance niya.
Yeah. Right. Actually, same insights lang. If you weren't able to get it in the break, di ba, upon this flag or pennant, mag-aantay na ako ng breakout above that 420 area. Tapos, syempre, you always have to look for areas to sell your position at a profit. So, siguro ang next major resistance dyan, somewhere sa may 5. So, upside mo dyan, mga 20% or something. So, yeah, mga 18-20% whole number resistance, psych level, tapos structural level of resistance din. So, yeah. Yan siguro yung parang trade idea if ever mag-materialize for Picor. Yan, so good evening, guys. Sorry if medyo mano yung boss ko. Medyo, hindi nangyari kasi, actually, kanina lang to eh. Sige, isang stock muna, tapos kakwento ko na lang. So, next ito, galing kay Lorenzo, kay LA. Kaibigan ko to nung college. SHIB. So, guys, comment nyo naman if na-trade nyo to. Kasi, pucha, di ko na-trade. So, Cheska, di ka active sa crypto, no? More on,
Actually,
investing ka sa
dito
Or,
nakabili ako of it. A
nakabili
bit
ka
lang,
nito?
40%,
Saan ka nakabili?
Dito, actually nakabili ako mga last week. So, parang before sa pagtaas. Kasi yung
So
dad ko,
okay.
palagi siyang nag-talk about SHIB. Kaya, ayun, sige, sabi niya SHIB Army raw siya. Kaya, ayun, bumili na lang din ako.
Yung dad mo, nagtitrade din siya?
Yeah.
Solid yun Sa kanya ka ba natuto? Sa kanya ka ba na-influence na mag-trade?
A bit, pero mostly sa Investa, char.
Solid. So, SHIB. So, po siya, medyo bitter ako dito Kasi, di ako bitter kasi na-miss ko tong move. Pero hindi siya lumalabas sa screener ko. Kasi I focus on yung mga nag-all-time high sa crypto. FTM, One, sino pa ba? Sila Solana, etc. EGLD, madami. But I've been seeing this since siguro a few months ago pa, nagbe-base lang. So actually nakakatawa, nakikita ko siya mag-breakout on the day itself. Kasi nakita ko nandito na. Nandun sa 0.00094. Pero sabi ko, baka wala lang to. Kasi, una, wala talaga ako plan i-trade. Secondly, lagi naman siya nauuntog lang doon, tas parang joke time lang tayo lahat So, nag-CR muna ako, umihi muna ako. Pagbalik ko, ganito na yung kandila. So, syempre, di na pwede humabol. Maraming intraday patterns, pero di ko na chinis. And then yesterday, ito, true story. Last night, kasi hindi ko pa napapanood yung Squid Game. Tapos, pinanood ko siya kagabi. Tinapos ko. Tapos, nag-breakout kasi ito mga 12. Pero may alert ako nakaset dyan. SHIB, 0.00 blah blah 29, happy mga 12. Nanonood pa ako ng Squid Game. Saturday night naman, akala ko wala na masyado gagalaw. Tapos nung na-check ko ng mga 3 a.m., wala na. Or mga 2 a.m., nagbising pa ako, wala na. Gumalaw na. So I was looking to get it at the break of this setup. No? Tapos, so at this point, hindi ko na siya hinabol. So sayang, no? 50% gain in, 24 hours. Pero syempre, it is what it is. Na-miss out ko. So at this point, if meron ako nito, siguro something I would do is, I would probably sell into strength a little bit as try to hold the rest of the move. Kasi pag ito nag-decline, baka malalim, di ba? So maybe something similar to Doge. Pero pag gumalaw ng malakas talaga. So a certain position, I would have loved to sell into strength, a certain portion of it, hold it for a longer move. Pero ngayon, kaka-break lang, all-time high. So, ano lang yan, if na-miss mo, katulad ko, antayin lang ng bagong continuation pattern. Right? So, di naman kailangan madali pumasok. If malakas talaga to, kung di ko alam kung ano yung useless nito or kung parang Doge lang to. Pero, there should be another continuation pattern sometime in the future. Kailangan patient ka lang. So, sayang to. Pero let's see. So, ako, di na ako maghabol. Ikaw ba, Cheska, at this point, ano ba yung trade plan mo considering na nakabili ka habang nagbe-base siya?
Yeah, actually, if ganito, di ba, nakabili ako a bit. So, tama yung sabi ni Toma na sell in the strength. Tapos, if, of course, keep a bit lang rin naman. Tapos, paunti-unti na mag-sell. So, I think that's the proper way talaga na tranching, di ba, tranche sell if kaya. Tapos if hindi ka nakakapasok dito talaga sa pag-break, so wag na talaga habulin. Don't chase the prices, wag na ma-FOMO. Kasi if ever baka doble yung balik sa'yo, tapos mas masakit pa, kaya wag na lang.
Yeah. So guys, kung di nyo lang alam, ang Investa Prime, real-time crypto alerts yan. Kaya ako may alert ng SHIB, pero syempre hindi ko na-execute yan. Pero ganun talaga. So, okay, next. Ito, last na from the list dun sa post sa Investa page or sa Investa Gams platform. Ito, BTC. Tsaka Monde pala. BTC tapos Monde. So, start with BTC. So, BTC, meron ako kakilala ang average sa Bitcoin, 5,000. Ginawa lang hanggang ngayon. Taga-invest. Hindi ko na sabihin kung sino, pero ang average sa Bitcoin, siya? Hindi si JC, hindi si Berio, hindi ako, hindi si JM. Pero average 5,000. Sabi ko, hindi mo siya binibili ng isla. Pero yeah, Bitcoin. So yeah, kita natin lakas, nag all-time high. the other day. Anong araw ba to? Wednesday or Tuesday? Pero nag-fade, no? Nag-fade siya, which I think di ko rin inexpect na tutuloy lang siya given na coming out of this breakout here. Walang pause, di ba? Very small lang yung pause prior to breaking out. So, I don't think it's deads in any way. Tingin ko nagpapahinga lang. So, maybe another wind up or another pullback to the 20-day bago siya mag-breakout ulit. So, keeping an eye on this din. Kasi usually the move starts sa Bitcoin, diba? Then the move kind of spills over to the altcoins. Pero yeah, keeping an eye on this closely. Ikaw ba, Cheska? Ano ba tingin mo sa Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think this would probably like consolidate dito sa mga 60,000 levels lang. Or pwede rin na bababa pa siya sa EMA 20. If doon, I think it is best to accumulate parang a lot. Hindi naman a lot. Medyo like a bigger support, bigger if sa EMA 20. Kasi dito parang strong sa EMA 9 na parang nandito na tayo sa EMA 9. Pero if hindi talaga siya mag-support sa EMA 9, which is also the previous resistance, di ba, sa dati. Kaya I think pwede pa siya potentially bumba sa EMA 20, but then with that, I think pwede, may chance na talaga siya na babalik, mag-breakout na talaga officially sa all-time high niya na 64.
Yeah. Nice.
66 pala.
So, binabantayan ko rin to closely. And yung total market cap din ng crypto, I think a week ago, nag-all-time high na rin. So, I think, so might as well look at Ethereum na rin. So, I think I think crypto is very active ako doon. At least for the past 2 months lang. Di naman ako, alam ko marami pumasok January, medyo late to the party ako. But I think moving forward sa Q4, I really feel like there's gonna be a lot of opportunities here. So let's do Ethereum, tapos let's go back to the PSE. So Ethereum, it's a big cup with handle. Right, so ako, I'm just waiting. Same lang kay Bitcoin, right? Nag-try siya mag-breakout, nag-above 4K na, pero medyo nag-fade. So ngayon, nagpo-pause lang ulit. So I'm just waiting for that strong breakout above 4.2, 4.3, and then maybe potentially a move higher. Ikaw ba? Ano ba? Gusto mo ba i-share kung ano yung average mo sa Ethereum? Feeling ko average mo mga
Hindi.
800.
Medyo
Mga
mataas.
800.
Hindi, medyo mataas. Okay, so for yung opinion ko sa Ethereum naman is I think if mag-break dito sa 4.4, I think that would be really good to buy a lot. Since, of course, di ba, may iba't ibang like perspective. May iba na sabi na 10K raw by the end of the year, tapos 100K yung Bitcoin. Kaya, I don't know. But then, focusing on this alone, I think potentially na pwede pa siya na mag-break. I think, if mag-break siya sa 4K, then I think that would be really good to accumulate a lot.
Yeah. So, same. Inaantay ko yung breakout about 4K. So, next. Sige, balik tayo sa PSE. So, nakuha ko na, ito. Ano pala, Monde. From yung request from the platform. So, Monde, wala, medyo alanganin ako dito. Parang, below EMA 20, yung short-term moving average ko for stocks. Tapos, feeling ko, baka may mini bounce ka dyan. Baka yung setup is may base dito, may bounce play. I-retest yung breakdown point, tapos a move lower. Di ko sure. Pero pwedeng ganun na scenario. Pero at this point, avoid na ako dito. Wala pangit ng chart eh. Wala pang at least for the way I trade, wala pang proper setup. So kung ako yan, I would wait for it to maybe try to reclaim yung 18 to 19 level and also at least close to 20 before I move higher. Pero at this point, I feel like mas maraming ibang opportunities available. So pass na ako kay Monde, at least for now.
Yeah, I agree naman. I agree also. I think it should be really best to look for na pumasok sa isang stock if may proper setup. So parang ngayon, wala talaga akong makita rin.
Next. Ito. GMA 7. Cheska, tingin mo sa GMA 7.
Yeah, I think it's really respecting naman yung EMA 15 niya. So, if mag-respect naman siya dito, then I think, tapos mag-break siya, wait lang ha, if mag-break siya dito sa mga 14, dito, if mag-break sa 14, and then like, pero yung, I think better if mag-crunching ka, pero yung, ito yung setup ko talaga dito is I'll buy dito sa pag-break ng 16. Pwede naman na buy ka onte-onte dito kasi as you can see, can you zoom, yeah, zoom out naman. Here, di ba, na
Can you zoom
parang,
out? Okay.
zoom out, yeah, zoom out. Na parang it's respecting really na yung saya may 50 niya. So, hindi siya mababa sa MA 50. So, dito ngayon, it's really best to accumulate sa MA 50. So, I guess sa mga ngayon, maybe nice na bumili sa GMA 7. Tapos, bumili ka more if mag-break na talaga sa high niya, na 6 sa 16.
Oh.
I don't know. What are your thoughts naman?
Yeah. So, yeah, GMA 7, maganda yun. I think for the past couple of weeks, lagi natin sinachart to. So, same lang kay Cheska, tama. Throughout the entire trend, dinirespect lang niya yung, yung EMA 50. Pero ngayon, medyo make or break levels na to. Kasi, una muna, it's already retesting. Right? It's already retesting yung initial breakout point niya. Which is okay lang naman. Wala namang problema doon, di ba? Retesting the breakout point. And then, it's also holding above EMA 50. So, may confluence na ng multiple levels of support. So if this breaks down below that level next week, nag-close na siya below 14 on heavy volume. Tingin ko deads na, di ba? Baka deads na si GMA 7. Baka yung story na, di ba, elections, walang kalaban, EPS, wala naman. It's probably already discounted, already priced into the previous up move, right? So at this point, siguro ang warning sign ko lang dito, siyempre all-time high to. So ayaw mo pang unahan. Ayaw mo sabi nga ni Bear palagi sa amin, you don't wanna underestimate yung power ng all-time high. Kasi siyempre mas malakas yung demand at this point. Pero what I'm looking at, when it retested that level, if you look at the previous candles, parang may onting signs of distribution. If you look at the volume, one thing you always wanna look at sa volume whenever it's consolidating is below average sana. Sana puro ganito lang. Diba? Ganyan ako. Chill lang siya. But if you look at whenever it had red candles, it also spiked, diba, on downside volume, which is a potential sign of distribution. Right? Pero again, warning sign lang yan. Di naman yan totally ibig sabihin, dedo na, wala nang chance. Di naman, pwedeng, sa the end of the day, kung malakas talaga isa stock, diba, babasagi lang niya yung 16 dapat, mag-all-time high ulit. Pero that's a certain bias na meron for me kay GMA 7. Pero pwedeng mali ako. Diba? So, yun lang yung tinitignan ko for GMA 7. So, yeah. Okay, next.
Ano pa ba?
Ito, from Miko. Ay, si Miko ulit. Teka, ikaw na pala yung huli. Sa next. Ito. Ay, Ian. BSC. Yeah, BSC. Just karating mo sa BSC.
Actually, di ba, if you're going to look at the bigger picture, pa downtrend siya, but then now it broke the downtrend last week. So, I think it would be best if bumili. Actually, wala pa akong makitang setup, like honestly. But then naman kasi mahirap, like honestly talaga, hindi talaga ako nagtitrade ng parang ganito. Since, if downtrend kasi parang, sabi nga ni, kasi di ba if downtrend, parang maraming harang, kaya hirap i-trade. So with that, di ba maraming nag-accumulate, for example, dito ako nakabali medyo sa taas, dito sa 0.89. Tapos, tataas na yung BSC. Tapos, pwede naman na ako isasal ko na nung 0.89 na. Yung 0.89 ko na share sa BSC para mag-break even na lang, di ba? So, overall, hindi ako masyado na-trade if ganitong setup. Oo. Pero, yeah, if dito, for now, pass muna. What do you think, ba? Tama.
Yeah. Cheska, may sinend pala ako sa'yo may chinat ako sa'yo. So, ako, BSC, actually, medyo interesting to eh. So, yun nga, ito sina APL yan. Sila yung mga sabay gumalaw nung January of this year. Mga basura plays. Not sure if ano yung catalyst dito at least for now. Guys, if if alam nyo, share nyo naman kung ano yung catalyst dito. But at least looking at it now, yung interesting for me is finally nag-break siya above EMA 50. And I feel like it's a clear break. Hindi siya nag-fade kaagad, unlike dito and these times here. So if totoo nga to, if may laman talaga to, value traded almost 100M. And if you missed out on the initial move, I would just wait for a continuation pattern. But again, sa mga teka lang. Sorry po, sinisipon kasi ako. So I would wait for a continuation pattern. Right? So whether it would base somewhere here. So yan yung aantayin ko. Maybe try to get it maybe at the dips. Kasi note lang, when you're trading a penny stock like BSC, the thing is you have to be very pinpoint or precise with your entries. Bakit? Kasi when you're trading a penny stock, besides it being very volatile, from a position sizing perspective, or from a risk perspective, if you buy maybe a cent or 2 cents too high, tapos you keep the same stop, and VAR-based yung sizing mo, what happens is you size really small. At the same time, if you buy it maybe 2 cents higher than where you wanted to buy it, what's gonna happen is, and you keep the same level of risk or the same size, what's gonna happen is you're gonna be risking more than you want to risk from a VAR-based perspective. Sa VAR mo. So I hope di ko alam pag-explain ko. But yeah, so kailangan lang precise yung entries and exits pag nag-trade ng penny stock. So if ever, let's say, mag-base, right, somewhere at these levels, maybe ang susunod na dyan is sama sipan ko, teka. Would be, I would look at maybe somewhere close, dito na sa may piso, actually. Maybe somewhere here. At least for a bigger picture perspective, right? To see kung may ano yung palag niya sa level na yan. But I think there's something interesting to keep an eye on lang din. To see if it gives a nice setup or kung maging ganito lang ulit, na parang may onting rally, pero counter-trend rally lang siya towards a bigger downtrend. Pero yeah, tingin ko interesting naman. As long as mag-sustain siya, mag-hold above ng EMA 50. Sige. So, next?
Diba next?
Sige, Jollibee.
GFC.
Buti lang, dito ka, Cheska, sa mga subon ko. Okay. Ikaw muna, Cheska. Ate mo sa BSC. Ay, sa Jollibee.
GFC. Yes, actually, as you can see here, this is interesting actually. Kasi 'di ba, parang naglitas, parang dito ngayon yung level nag-close sa Friday. It was the previous resistance ng GFC. So I think interesting ito actually yung GFC. Kasi also this is EMA 9 rin. Tapos, if mag-accumulate ka, then yeah, I think that would be good also. And other than that, you can also look for other entry positions such as dito na sa pag-break ng 230 to 235 na level. So yeah, yan yung dalawa na maibigay ko. So I think dito maganda interesting if tingnan yung 225, which is like the previous resistance ngayon na parang nag-act as support. Tapos next is if ma-break talaga yung previous high niya. Kaya ikaw ba, Toma? What do you think?
Yeah. So JFC, actually last one na ito. So actually same sentiments ang with Cheska. Right? So nag-break siya dito sa, I think sa pre-pandemic levels na ito. So I guess at this point, ang ganda, nagbe-base siya ngayon, di ba? So, if you're looking at this as a continuation pattern, depende na siguro sa style mo. Kung gusto mo maglagay ng anticipatory position, gusto mo bilhin yung dips, or gusto mo na antayin yung breakout. Dalawa lang naman pagpipilian mo eh. Pero yung important for me, kay JFC, siguro kung bigger picture lang, kung longer term perspective, dapat mag-hold na to above 200. Di ba? Yung whole number level. Tapos mag-hold na sana above EMA 50. Pero siguro from a shorter term perspective, ito may mini range ka na pwede mo, diba? You can set up a trading plan here, whether it's to buy the retest or buy the breakout. Tapos if you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, diba? Saan na ba yung susunod na resistance yan? Tingin ko dito na, right? Sa may 250 to 260. Yung susunod na level na significant. So ang upside mo at this point, may mga almost 16 to 18% ka pa. So pwede na, parang swing trade na blue chip, ayos na. So I think very important for the short term is mag-hold na siya above yung 215 na level, yung previous high niya na breakout. Yep. So guys, bakit ba sa mga sipon ko, butik? Yung nangyayari sa akin. Actually, today lang to eh. Ano kasi, kung naalala nyo, meron kaming fitness challenge sa Investa. Tapos ako kasi gusto ko mag-champion, gusto ko manalo. Kasi may cash prize, tsaka gusto ko rin pumayat na konti. Tapos, may napanood kasi akong video ni Kobe nung isang araw. Or ni Michael Phelps, di ko maalala. Sabi one of them, I think si Kobe, sabi, parang when you, parang madali lang mag-train kapag pag easy lang pag trip mo, pag motivated ka. Pero pag hindi mo trip, unmotivated ka, di ba, madali lang mag-pass ulit or matulog or something. Pero when you train during those hard days, during those days na hindi mo trip, yun yung mga pinaka-important. So yun yung nasa utak ko. Ako kasi nag-run ako every morning. So at least minimum 4 times a week. Gumigising ako mga 5:30, takbo ko mga 7 to 10 kilometers. Around my area. Kagabi, late na ako natulog. Daw, Squid Game. So, mga 1, 2 na ako natulog. Tapos, gumising pa rin ako na 6. Sabi ko, sabi ni Kobe, kapag hindi mo trip, kailangan, Tapos, nung tumatakbo na ako, biglang nabuhusan ako ng ulan. Nasa gitna na ako ng daan, malayo sa bahay. As in, 5 kilometers away from my house. Tapos, wala na. Walang shade. Walang shade. Tinakbo ko na lang. Tapos, ayun, sinipon. Medyo sumasakit din yung ulo, pero ayos lang. Sana, hopefully, tomorrow, wala na. So, ang lesson is, number 1, okay maging hardcore, pero health muna siguro. Dapat inisip ko, kulang ako sa tulog, ganyan, dapat di ko na pinilit. Pwede naman bukas. So, baka ngayon, 2 or 3 days pa ako di makaka-workout. Pero yun lang. Siguro tamang hardcore pero health muna, health. So, yun lang. Anyway. Saan na ba tayo? JFC tapos na. Ito, ACE-N.
ACE-N.
Cheska, ano tingin mo sa ACE-N?
Actually, yung 3 leaders, no, yung Converge, ACE-N, tapos Monde, nag-pullback talaga sila last week. Pero focusing on ACE-N tayo ngayon. I think pwede siya interesting if mag-bounce siya sa EMA 50 because if you're going to look into the bigger picture again, kung hindi naman nag-respect siya sa EMA 20, nag-respect naman siya sa EMA 50. So as long as mag-hold talaga siya sa EMA 50, then I guess it is still goods pa rin yung ACE-N natin. Yeah.
So, good point again from Cheska. The whole trend, may mga overshoot. Diba? Tanggalin ko na yung mga bilog. May mga overshoot siya. Pero ayos lang yan. Bakit? Kasi di naman siya nag-hard break below or kunyari dito. Nag-overshoot nga. Pero meron ka parang mas maliit na support dito. So, pwede mo bigyan ng onting allowance minsan. Especially pag kunyari average mo naman nandito. So, relax ka lang, di ba? Unless sobrang mag-breakdown na, pwedeng ganun. But looking at the price now, ako medyo alanganin na ako kay ACE-N eh. So, meron kang mini bounce dyan. But if you zoom in, di ba? Pansinin mo ulit yung, di ba? Tingnan mo naman yung past, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. More than 1 week.
Yeah.
Puro red candles, meron lang isang malaking bounce. Tapos, nung nag-bounce siya, na-reject ka agad yung presyo. So, baka technical bounce lang. If you look at the volume again, diba? Above average on the downside lahat. Diba? So, di naman sa nagiging bearer of bad news. Or parang sobrang bearish ko mag-comment minsan. Pero, titignan ko lang yung perspective na yun. So, very important ngayon na mag-hold siya above EMA 50.
Yeah.
Or at least kung yung longer term perspective, itong 10. Diba? Kung gusto mo bigyan ng wide stops talaga, 10, yung psych level na yan yung pinaka-important. Kasi yan yung high din eh. Nung end of 2020, yun din yung high. Yun din yung major breakout point. So at this point, if meron ako neto, depende na sa'yo. Kasi kung bumili ka naman sa all-time high, so medyo kinain na yung gains mo. Ang worst case scenario mo na dapat at this point, break-even stop ka na. So pag nag-below 10, dapat bato mo na yan.
Mm-mm.
So, paano pag umakyat? Kaya paano pag 950 tapos tumakyat ulit? Well, it is what it is, di ba? I mean, you never want to let a good size gain turn into a loss, di ba? So, up ka na 30%. I'm sure that's above the average gain of a lot of people, even myself. So, and I'm sure that's already multiple of your risk. For example, if yung cut loss mo, 6%. So, more than 3R na yan. More than 4R. Ang 4R ng 6% cut is 24%. Actually, 5-hour trade na nga to eh, kasi up ka na 30%. So, you never wanna let a big gain turn into a loss. Kasi, naiinis ka lang, di mo nabenta sa tuktok. So, kailangan ready ka lang, diba? So, if wala pa ako nito, baka, let's say, if it goes lower, my potential bounce plays at 10. Maybe you could look at that level, see if my sustainability doon or whatever. Or if ako, I would wait for it to set up again. Maybe it might form a larger base. Di natin alam.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a shallow cup with handle. Di natin alam. But at this point, di ako magmamadali. Right? Pumasok sa ASM. Mag-aantay ako ng better setup at at this point. Tsaka if pinapanood niyo yung Investa University, RSI pop na eh. From RSI 70. Diba, nag-pop na pababa. So, if nag-below RSI 50 pa to, it's holding above RSI 50 naman, I think. The momentum would probably go much lower. So, yeah.
Okay.
Next. Sige, balik tayo. Ito na to. Ano ba? Ano ba interesting? Teka. Namimili pa ako eh. Sige, kahit ano. Ito, ABA. Kanina pa may nag-comment. ABA.
Search natin.
Cheska, ano tingin mo sa ABA?
Wait, sorry. Load pa. Actually, I think we can like make a box or something. Parang, di ba? It has been consolidating for a very long time. So, if mag-break siya dito sa box na ginawa ni Toma, I think that's really that's really interesting, and I think it'd be best to accumulate there. Pero so far ngayon, I think nasa sideways lang yung ABA, and until mag-break siya. Actually, me personally, I'm looking at this yung 1.18. So until na mag-break siya dito, I guess wag muna kasi sideways na to, tuloy na to sa sideways. Other than that, may makita rin tayo na medyo resistance dito sa 1.32. But then if we're going to measure that, I think that would be 9% lang naman. So it depends on you. You can do tranching. So pwede ka bumili ng maybe 50% muna sa pag-break dito sa 1.18 or pwede rin sa pag-break then the other sa 1.30 or pwede rin na take profit na sa 1.30 because that's also like 7 to 8%, diba, minus the fees. So yeah, I think that's it for me, like personally. What do you think naman, Toma?
Yeah, so for the most part, ABA sa large consolidation. Ako di ako masyadong mamadali dito. Though meron kang mini pang setup within the base. Nasabi nga ni Cheska to 1.20 area na pwede mag-breakout dyan. Pero ako, medyo chill lang ako dito. Siguro interesting to look at din. Medyo may volume na pasok recently. So maybe the earliest entry, yun nga, yung 1.2, bantayan mo yung level na yan. But the biggest breakout is kapag nag-break na ng 1.3, 1.32, 1.33. And, coming from a large base, andaan lang, di ba? Parang si Shib. The larger the base, the higher in space. Diba? And the bigger the base, the bigger the potential breakout. Doesn't always work, pero, di ba, parang kung matagal lang sumasayaw lang, tapos nag-breakout, that means something significant must have probably happened to the company or to the market. Diba? So, I would wait for that bigger breakout, I guess. Di ako masyadong mamadali. Or kung ever bibili ako sa mini breakout sa loob ng base. Kasi technically, nasa gitna pa rin ng range eh. So, dapat chillax ka lang. Pero if you want to maybe have a anticipatory position na medyo maaga to maybe to fund or to, ano masabi ni Minervini, to offset yung bagong risk na iti-take mo sa next entry. Pwede naman yun. Pero yeah, I think medyo interesting the longer I look at it. Medyo malaki yung base eh. Pero syempre, di natin alam kung kailan siya be-break out. So, set lang kayo ng Investa Watcher kung Prime subscriber kayo.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Si crypto naman, ito, FTM, si Phantom. Cheska, ano tingin mo sa FTM?
Actually, yeah, di ba, as what I've mentioned, hindi ako masyadong nagte-trade talaga ng crypto. Pero looking at the chart alone, I believe na wait muna. Wala kang setup talaga makita. Ay, wag mo habulin itong price. So, wait muna ng pullback dito sa 2. 2.5 dito, 2.4 to 2.5 na range. Tapos, kung hindi naman, they wait for something na it will give you a chance na mag-enter sa stock, di ba? If hindi na talaga siya mag-pullback. So, yeah, I guess that's it. So, basically, wait for it to pull back. Kung hindi naman, wait for the coin to allow you to enter.
Yeah. So, tama si Cheska. At this point, gumalaw na eh. So, take with a grain of salt. May position kasi ako sa FTM. So, yun lang. Take everything I'm going to say with a grain of salt. Kasi syempre, ang gusto ko sabihin, aakit lang siya. Pero, kung if wala ka pa nito, ano na ako? If you weren't able to get it sa breakout dito sa 2.4, at this point, ano ba presyo? Yeah, 2.8 na, right? So,
Ang taas na, ilang percent?
2.8, syempre. Ay, naka-log chart pala ako para lang mas smooth tingnan. Pero kung naka-linear, or ano ba to? Basta yung yan. Medyo malayo na sa breakout point. So, ako, why I trade crypto, usually, if I want to get it maybe at a pullback, I always look at the 10-day EMA. Yun yung fast-moving average. Maybe that's if it bases or it pulls back or it pauses above the 10-day EMA, maybe you can find a low-risk entry there. Tapos tight stops ka na lang below it. Teka. Yeah, if meron ka nito, ako, yung trade plan ko dito is, teka lang.
Goods pa ba? Goods.
Yeah, goods pa. Ako, ang trade plan ko dito, I just plan to hold it, di ba? Hindi naman hold hanggang forever. Pero I plan to hold it until it closes below the 10-day. So, yan yung trail ko, EMA 10. So, bakit ko tinrade to? Ano lang? All-time high, leader, di ba? Nung nagde-decline yung market, ay nung medyo chill lang yung market, ito, malakas pa rin. So, ano lang? I think I bought it here sa 1.85 ata, 1.9, somewhere between those two. Tapos, yun lang, just added on the pullback. So, yung EMA 10, ginagamit ko lang ulit yung EMA 10 ko, added on the pullback here, may setup dyan. And then, added again on the breakout here, I think. And then, medyo mataas yan. Saan ba ako bumili ulit? Dito. So, yeah, bought it on the breakout here. Tapos yun, nawakan ko lang. So, hopefully mag-trend. Tapos if hindi, protect profits mode na ako dito. Pero isa to sa mga leaders, si Phantom. In my opinion. Pero syempre, bias yung may hawak ko.
Pero curious lang, Tama, if you trade yung mga coins, di ba, do you also look into yung mga fundamentals nila or yung mga projects behind that coin?
I try to. Binabasa ko minsan yung Binance research, pero wala akong nagigets eh. Pero sinusubukan ko minsan. Minsan nagigets ko naman, minsan hindi. Phantom, actually ito, di ko binasa. Sometimes, I'm a subscriber kasi to Real Vision if you guys are familiar with the platform. And sometimes I try to watch the videos there about, minsan ini-invite kasi yung mga CEO, president o CEO ng mga may-ari yung tokens na to. For example, yung CEO ng Chili's, yung CHZ ata, yung CEO or something ng AVAX, right? So I try to watch it sometimes maybe just to understand the use case. Pero most of the time, hindi ko nagigets. So I really just focus on price most of the time. Tapos yun, minsan may mga research na sinishare si Javi sa Open Journal. Tapos he consolidates them much easier to understand. He gives his insights on it. So that helps also. But yeah, but for the most part, ako I just try to stick with the fastest horses. Tapos I try to hold them for as much as possible.
After all, price is king pa rin naman, diba?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's FTM. Ano ba next? Sige. Ito, dito. Cheska, ano tingin mo sa dito?
Um, I guess it's a pass muna ako dito kasi dito pass muna ako dito kasi I think may makita pa tayong mas better na iti-trade, diba? Then after all, if you're going to look at the bigger picture again, nasa below pa talaga kasi ng mga EMAs tapos overall pa downtrend pa yung stock, and then if ganito downtrend yung stock, mahirap talaga siya i-trade personally for me. Yeah.
Yep. Same din kay dito. So, halos every week touch in the chart since
Yeah.
nag-bull run. So, ano lang, dito pass din kasi though meron kang mini support dito. Like you have a level of support here na pwede mo tignan. Naghahanap ka ng bounce play. Medyo nanguna nga lang, di na nagre-visit sa pinaka-low. Pero at this point, di ba, like ko na-highlight, yung EMA 50, di ba? Always acted as a resistance. When I tried to break out, wala, faded ka agad. Tried to move higher, faded ka agad. So ako, I'm not only looking for a break ng EMA 50. I'm also looking for sustainability above it, di ba? Dapat, itong base, ideally sana, breakout siya doon. Hindi, mas magiging interesting siya at higher levels than that. Kasi you don't have to get naman yung pinaka-first move up eh. You can always wait for the next pause to happen. Kasi kung malakas talaga isang stock, maraming level of bases yan on the way up.
Yeah.
Like dito, di ba? Like here, like dito, sa dito. Daming bases on the way up. Especially early on. So yan lang din inaantay ko ngayon. Pero yun nga, since sa downtrend siya, below EMA 50, pass na muna okay dito.
Agree.
So before we go on sa next stock, guys, gusto ko lang din pala i-announce. So may quick lang akong ipa-plug. Guys, I'm sure alam nyo na. The Investagrams Trading Cup 2021, malapit na po ito. So yun lang, we just like to invite everyone, lahat ng gusto sumabak sa biggest stock market competition in the Philippines. Right? So it's happening on November 8, 2 weeks from now. So if you're interested to take your trading to the next level and really compete, diba, in a highly competitive environment pagdating sa trading and test your skills and see where you are, the gap between yourself and some of the best traders in the Philippines, so head over to investagrams.com/tradingcup. And before that, we just announced a while ago, di ko alam kung nakita nyo, pero ito yung exciting. We're actually going to have, if naalala nyo yung sa summit, nagkaroon kami na para road to the summit. May mga mini webinars na nangyari. So meron din gano'n for the Trading Cup. And this is free. Teka, sneeze ko lang ako. Teka, na-sneeze ako. Okay, so this is free. It's gonna be live on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, and we're gonna do it over the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to do if I don't get sick tomorrow, I'm gonna do a series of interviews, right, with the best performers in Trading Cup history, all of the champions, and then some of those who made the top 10, mga Hall of Famers. So tomorrow, I'm actually gonna be live with Kapitan Kidlat, ang top 5 on Trading Cup no 2020, and then for the rest of the week, I'm gonna interview the 2 champions, champion of 2019, 2020. They will have a live charting session. And then, with all of this, syempre may mga paraffle yan for our double up pass holders ng Investa Cup. So, if you're part of a Trading Cup and you have a double up pass, yan, you're gonna be included in our double up exclusive webinar. May mga special prizes for you guys. So yun lang, hopefully makikita ko kayo sa stream bukas. Very interesting tong mga tao na i-interviewin ko para sa inyo. So yun, hopefully you can join us. And again, this is gonna be live, so libre lang yan. Parang in preparation lang yan for the Trading Cup.
It's really exciting.
So yeah, okay. Let's continue with the charts. Ito. Converge. Tatlo pero dun tayo sa Converge. Cheska, ano tingin mo sa Converge?
Converge, wait. Search ko muna kasi masyadong maliit yung dyan kasi, wait. Yeah, actually, like, sa Converge, focusing on Converge, nice siya, di ba? Kasi, isa siya sa mga telco na marami talagang earnings. Nag-shoot up talaga given that work from home, tapos, di ba, online classes, tapos, di ba, yung mga Converge, yung mga subscribers ng Converge is more on, like, households talaga. Tapos, medyo ito lang dito, nag-drastic down siya. because of the lock-up ng, di ba, yung expiry ng share lock-up. Tapos maybe exaggeration na lang rin because of the run-up, like included siya ng maraming indices. Tapos maybe na-exaggerate na yung price niya. So I think this is also like a healthy pullback. But then what I'm looking into, like focusing on the chart lang alone sa Converge, no? I want na mag-respect siya sa 100-day EMA niya. So because diba, as you can see here dito, can you add 100 day na lang? Dito diba, parang hindi naman siya bumaba ng 100 days. So as long as hindi talaga siya bababa sa 100 EMA, then I think goods naman. So for Converge. But then as for entry positions, wala pa akong makita na setup for it. What do you think, ba?
Yeah. So, great points from Cheska. Actually, past na yun ako kay Converge. Nagka-rotation na nga, no? Pero, yeah, what's the price telling you? Obviously, medyo waterfall pa ba yung setup. May mga mini bounces ka nakikita. Pero at the end of the day, ito yung type of stock na mahirap i-trade kung gusto mo pag-profitan. Kasi it gets really volatile and really choppy when it starts to break down like that. So ako, to sum it up, pass na ako dito. I would much rather wait for a much better, a much clearer setup. Kasi at this point, parang ano yung ita-trade mo? Diba? Ita-trade mo lang yung mga technical bounce. But of course, Converge overall, yung growing company. Fundamental wise, I think it's goods naman. Pero kung price lang titignan mo, wala ka masyadong iti-trade dito. So ano lang, if basta yun lang. I don't really have to say much about it. Ano lang, nagka-rotate na ng pera. Syempre, dun ka kung nasan yung where the fastest horses are. Tapos kay Converge, atay ka lang ng better setup. Kasi parang yan, ano te-trade mo dito? Diba? So yun lang. Wag lang, never, what Mark Minervini likes to call the broken leader syndrome, diba? Parang they see opportunities like this to start buying onto the previous leader. Pero di mo alam. Pero syempre, di rin natin alam, baka umakyat, diba? Pero di mo rin alam, paano pag nag-revisit pa to sa 20? Di ko rin alam. Possible, diba? Anything can happen in the market. So, ano lang, wait for it to stabilize muna. Baka may setup ka makita. Maybe mag-consolidate muna dito. But we have to wait to see it happen. So at this point, wala pang clear signs kung saan talaga siya papunta. Okay, next. LTG. Just ito sa LTG.
LTG. Wait lang, nag-loading pa. Wait lang. Yeah, so actually, if you're going to look at it again, below siya sa EMA 100 niya. But then the interesting part here is that pwede ka mag-create ng sort of like a resistance dito sa ginawa ni Toma na line. Dito sa 10.73 or sort of like a box, di ba? So if ma-break siya dito, then I think interesting na mag-buy it dyan. Since yeah, so I think dyan, if ma-break dito, then I think that would be interesting. So since actually if ma-break rin yan, then of course then ma-break rin yung EMA 100. So basically it will basically break the overall downtrend ni LTG because di ba dito parang if focus lang ka muna sa from June to September, bumaba talaga yung LTG drastic, but then it started consolidating. So with that, maybe if successful yung breakout, then I guess patuloy na tataas na eventually yung LTG. So yeah, it's depends on you. But then that's my own perspective.
Yeah. So, yeah, LTG, medyo interesting din. Medyo matagal na gumalaw eh. When, Ganun lang, kasi coming from a huge downtrend, diba? Maraming overhead supply. So, maraming sellers trying to get out close to even. So, but I think it's even more interesting now considering ang lakas yung volume was Thursday ba to? So, medyo nag-fade lang, medyo nag-pause lang. But if this breaks above that 10.5 level and closes above it, baka may potential move ka, maybe to somewhere close to 13. Yung previous base yan bago siya nag-breakdown. Kasi for sure, maraming overhead supply dito. Diba? Maraming ipit who will also act as sellers, selling at break-even, maraming nakabili sa ilalim, looking to take profit. So I think
Yeah.
that's a new potential target profit if ever the trade idea materializes. So next, ADA USDT. Just kalatin mo sa Cardano.
Alaga. Um, ano ba to? I think it's sort of parang nag-consolidate lang siya, no? Pero if you're going to ask me if may makita kong setup, like personally wala pa talaga. So maybe if ma-break to yung we can make a line dyan. Oh, yeah, tama. Yung line na ginawa ni Tama. So if I think if ma-break yung line, then I guess nice and maybe crunch buying. But then yeah, I think this is interesting, but then for now wala pa akong makitang setup. Maybe if ma-break lang yung line.
Yeah. So ADA, medyo tumahimik na to eh. Medyo nung nag-start yung moving crypto higher, isa sa mga leaders to. Ito si Solana tsaka si Luna. But ngayon medyo, tsaka si Matic. Pero ngayon medyo nag-chill na. Medyo tahimik na eh. So I think potentially it's a potential position trade. Parang marami nagsisiliparan. Si Ada tahimik lang. Though medyo laggard na siya dahil hindi pa siya gumagalaw. Pero yan, medyo tahimik siya. Volatility is low. Diba? Marami ayaw pumasok sa crypto kasi very volatile, which is 100% true. I have to put wider stops just because crypto tends to stop hot, diba? So, which leads to a much smaller size, which leads to me having to tranche more. Pero yeah, si Ada medyo tahimik lang. It's ranging in what? A 10%, 9% range, which for crypto medyo maliit na yan. So, yun lang. Potentially, maybe. Basta yung mahalaga dito, mag-hold siya sa 2, diba? Sa dos. If nag-below 2 pa to, wala na. Tingin ko, dedo na to. Pero yeah, as long as it holds above 2, okay pa. Potential position trade.
Yeah.
Ito. 1 USDT tsaka RRHI. So, kanina pa yan eh. Kita ko. RRHI muna. Ate mo sa RRHI.
RRHI. Personally, wala pa akong makitang setup also. So, pwede naman, ito ngayon, the good part is, it is also like respecting the EMA9. It is also respecting its EMA9. But then, if you want to enter sa stock na ito, I would advise or suggest dito sa break ng 63. Kasi yung resistance niya, I think, oo, malayo pa naman. So maybe if mag-accumulate ka, I would suggest the break of 63. For now, I think this would consolidate pa muna dito sa level na to, no, 60 to
Yeah.
60.
So, okay din to si RRHI actually. So, siguro wala sa mata ng madami kasi
Yeah.
medyo larger company. Pero tama, it's just consolidating. Ito yung type of culture na gusto ko makita. Noong nag-fade siya initially, ano naman eh, if you know the volume, ano ba nangyayari sa volume? Volume's going down, right? Volume's going down. The 2 days na malaki yung pullback, volume was below average. And ngayon, medyo nag-chill lang siya. So at this point, pwede mo, depende na sa style mo. Gusto mo ba magka-anticipatory position sa support? Or sa asami chess ka, antay mo na yung confirmation sa 63. Depende na sa magiging style mo. Pero ang upside mo dyan, yan. Ang first upside mo, 12%. Tapos yung mas longer term upside, baka dito na. So may 80 levels. Pero mas bigger picture na yan, medium term move na yan. So, Robinson's Retail Holdings. So kung Robinson's is probably a property name. Dapat, diba? Property name dapat. So, say Robinson's eh. Or retail ba siya?
Retail.
Balance na Clear Gold. Diba pa ate? RLC pala yun. Robinson's Land. So yeah. Pero yeah, at least kung technicals lang, medyo okay naman siya. Medyo okay din yung setup. So, wait for those 2 key levels na lang. Yung isa, 1 USDT.
1 USDT.
Ate mo sa 1. Cheska.
Crypto.
Sige. Yeah, okay. Ate mo sa 1.
Yeah, I think wag nabulin if hindi ka nakapasok sa pag-break nito. Bago lang pala nag-break yesterday. So, yeah, so I guess it's either pullback lang rin or it's either pullback or pwede rin na wait for proper entry na mas better na entry. Kasi if habulin mo pa to tapos baka mag-pullback siya ng malaki, diba? So just wait for a pause day something or pwede rin na mag-retest siya dito sa previous resistance niya.
Nice. So, again, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. Kasi my position also won. So, by the way guys, pag nag-trade ng crypto, mas okay pag naka-log chart. Kasi tingnan mo naman, ang hirap i-trade ng ganyan. Very, very wide, very volatile tingnan. So, I trade log para lang mas to put into perspective yung overall trend. Tsaka para it's not super choppy tingnan. So, yeah, actually, all-time high. So, actually, same lang sa FTM eh. Hinahawakan ko lang sa EMA 10 eh. So, I was looking to trail it sa 10-day. So, actually, kung pinapanood nyo yung live charting sessions for the past 3 weeks, alam nyo na yung positions ko eh. FTM, yung one, yung DYDX, kaso, dito pa ako pinaka-confident. Pero ito yung na-post. Ito yung nag-breakdown. Dito pa ako pinaka-confident. Pero, yeah, 1 USDT, I think is one of the leaders as well. Sa malang execution ko dito, dapat dadagdag pa ako sa position ko dito, pero hindi ko nagawa. So, size ko dito, 15% lang ata. Pero yun, at least ngayon, if I'm looking to maybe put another entry or looking to tranche it, actually, ang gusto ko sana, di siya mag-retest eh. Siyempre, gusto ko umakyat kasi may hawak ko. Tapos, dala ako sa next continuation pattern higher. Pero yeah, just keep a lookout sa EMA 10. So usually, pag leading crypto name naman, as long as it holds above the 10-day, again, may onting overshoot yan palagi. Basta yung overall structure buhay pa. May potential for entry yan tuwing nagpo-pause. So yun lang yung inaantay ko if ever magbigay siya ng pullback ulit. But yeah, one of the leaders, in my opinion as well, sa crypto market. Alright, guys, ano na tayo? Last 3, medyo hindi ko na kaya. Gusto ko matulog. Medyo sumasama na yung pakiramdam ko. So, game, ito, MWC. Cheska, na-trade mo ba to?
Wala. Wala. Sana, I wish. Grabe, no? Congrats sa mga naka-trade. So, for, like, personally, di ba, if dito, lucky talaga yung mga naka-trade sa pag-break dito sa October 4, yeah, probably October 4 dito sa 18. That's like 40% upside na rin. Pero, yeah, so personally, look into the EMAs again, and then, if gusto mo mag-trade, then basically, you can maybe, it would be nice if you would buy dito na sa pag-break sa wick or sa all-time, sa high niya, or ito sa pinakamataas na wick. Or pwede rin na dito sa, yeah, basically dito sa 26 to 28 na level. Pwede rin naman dito sa EMA 9, it's also like interesting. But then, yeah, let's just look if mag-hold talaga siya dito na level sa EMA 9.
Yeah. So, same lang, MWC. Yung maganda dito is, kahit yung akit niya medyo parabolic, it gave a high consolidation. Kind of similar to Globe, diba? At least early on, medyo high consolidation. Hindi siya parang si Converge na bastos yung pagkabuhos, diba? So, MWC, holding pa naman. So, yan yung continuation pattern natin. So, for me, as long as mag-hold siya above the 20-day, above 24, okay yan. May potential setup kung pwede laruin dyan. Pero we have to take a look at it from a bigger picture perspective as well. Nasaan ba yung susunod na resistance ni MWC? And if you look at it now, actually nandun na rin, diba? Nandun na rin sa level na yun. So, which I think makes it interesting as well. If it can do another leg higher, maybe you can look at, you can look at maybe 34, 33, 34. Tapos sa all-time high na 40. Pero itong 40, ano na yan, parang super big play dapat yan. Dapat talagang may laman tong si MWC. Though di ko alam kung meron or wala. Hindi ako masyado updated sa company. Pero yeah, parang kung momentum play lang, kung may momentum pa to, kung may another leg higher, potentially towards 33 to 34. Upside mo from the breakout 20% pa. So one of the leaders pa ito si MWC. So yeah, next to Solana.
Ayan.
Ay, Solana. So, anong tingin mo dito, Che? Better din ako dito eh. Anong tingin mo dito?
Yes, Sol. Grabe, no? Taas. Yeah, I think it would be best if sa breakout, bumili ng breakout talaga. Tapos, yeah, yan lang talaga for me. I think it would be best if sa breakout ka na lang bibili. If like it's really interesting to watch or to like really look into this stock monitor if magbe-break siya. Kasi for now parang nagko-consolidate siya dito, parang you can like form even a box there, 'di ba? So yeah, but then the good thing is parang you can create parang yung line. Can you make a line? Wait lang, I don't know how to dito from hindi parang ganyan. Ay, wag na lang, wag na.
Okay. Hindi ko alam kung saan mo gusto.
Okay. Pero kaya ano, 'di ba, yung parang as you can see, parang pataas talaga siya. So, yeah, I think may potentially upside pa talaga. And also, I also like look into yung mga fundamentals kasi dito sa Solana. And then, in fact, yung may kilala ako na he attended like a seminar na parang yung conference, tapos marami raw mga leaders na OpenSea, parang gano'n, ng mga founders. Tapos all of them talk about Solana. So maraming developments sa Solana. So yeah, basically a lot of developers are really looking into or making a lot of projects dito sa Solana na blockchain. So yeah.
Yeah. So Solana, better din ako dito eh. Hindi ko na mahanap yung Investa Watcher na alert. Pero may alert yan. Teka, bigyan natin Solana. Ayun o. Potek, di ko nabili. So, medyo naninigurado kasi ako eh. Parang, medyo hindi masalanganin. Di ko lang ma-execute kasi, syempre, hindsight to lahat. Ito yung pattern tinitignan ko. I missed on the breakout. Pero itong pause, somewhere here, bibili na dapat ako. Pero di ko tinuloy. Sabi ko, baka wala na to. Kasi, ito yung pinakaunang gumalaw doon eh. Sabi ko, baka wala na to. Di ko yun sure. Right? Di ko yun sure. Pero, kaya nga, you should never underestimate, di ba? May linya dito. Ano to? Tanggalin to. Joke lang. Okay, anyway, you should never underestimate yung nagkalinya dito sa gitna. Nakalock, diba? Yun. Never underestimate yung power ng mga 52-week highs or all-time highs. Eto, maganda naman yung console eh. Coming from a big move. Kung nakalag, mas maganda tingnan. Coming from a big move, nag-consolidate lang. Chill lang, tahimik lang. Tsaka tama naman ako. Siyempre, hindsight na, pwedeng mali din. Pero ang ganda nung pause, di ba? And kung nabili ko sana, almost 40% move sana. Pero di ako nakapag-execute. So, well, doesn't matter gaano kaganda yung plano mo or gaano kaganda yung setup na nakita mo. Kung di mo nabili, wala din, di ba? Na-stress ka lang. So, yung mali ko dito, parang nanigurado pa ako. Parang hindi ko paano ba i-explain? Basta yun, I just kind of froze. Kahit may mga iba akong binibili, si Solana, yun lang, di ko mabili. May bias ako towards, ang taas na nung inakyat. Kahit yung main gusto ko, yung mga leaders eh. Pero, siguro bias ko din. Dati meron ako nito sa 80, tapos maaga ako nabenta. But now, di pa naman siya totally gone. Early entry lang sana. So, same with Cheska, I'm waiting to see if it can break above that 200 to 215 level. So, yung maganda ngayon, medyo nagpo-pause siya. Ayoko sana yung tuloy-tuloy lang eh. Especially sa crypto. Well, sa crypto, minsan tumutuloy-tuloy lang talaga eh. But I would have preferred to see a pause. So, ito na yung pause na hinahanap ko. So, yun lang. Just waiting for the setup to form. And then, tignan natin. If mag-break to the upside, edi that would make it more interesting. So, guys, last stock na. Tapos, pahinga na. ASN, tapos na. Bukas na ba si All Day? Bukas na ba? Hindi ko ito alam eh. Ano ba yung ano niya?
Bukas na ba?
Di pa ito tomorrow. Hindi ako sure kung kaya si All Day. Last stock, ano ba yung pinaka-interesting na nandito sa comments? Shib, tapos na. Ace and Ditto. Sige, last na to si si Pure Gold. Ay, Pure Gold. Si BDO. Since leader to. So, Cheska, natingin mo sa video.
Di ba like I usually like looking in yung sa Thursday talaga. I look at can you search FINA yung finance yung FINA na sector yung ano yun?
Yeah,
Yung
financial
finance
sector.
financial sector So di ba as you can see here yung Thursday talaga na grabe yung baba yung mga banking. Oo. So actually hindi lang yung video, actually yung SEC, PMB, actually like lahat talaga. So yeah, so I guess like yung parang yung mga investors, yung traders, they saw that yung PCI is tumaas na and also parang sumunod na lang rin yung mga BDO or also yung mga holdings, yung mga blue chip companies na parang nag-take profit na rin also. So, di ba? As you can see na from last week tumaas talaga yung mga BDO. So I guess that's a good, like me also, like for example, if ako may hawak ko ng BDO, I think that's good for me to take to TP na given also na yung PSEI is also it's also near the resistance, it's also at its resistance already. So yeah, so I guess for BDO healthy pullback lang rin, just like PSEI, and then if you're going to trade it again, then maybe it would be best if you're going to accumulate or you're going to monitor sa pag-break dito sa box, sa reverse box. Or maybe if patuloy pa talaga siyang baba, then maybe you can accumulate dito sa mga EMA20 na. Since as you can see naman also, it's also like really respecting the EMA20.
Yep. So, actually same sentiments lang. Medyo nagpo-pause lang considering na a lot of stocks are pausing considering na si PSEI nandito na, di ba? Nasa may early year 2021 high na resistance. So, medyo nagkaka-profit taking na nagaganap. Pero kung malakas talaga yung market, malakas talaga yung sector, then they should just act just as a pause, just an opportunity for entry, di ba? So, bigger picture, syempre, dapat di siya bumalik below this large base, di ba? This should be a start of a new move higher, potentially. Kasi laki ng base na finorm niya. So, ano lang, for me, as long as it holds above si EMA20 short term, okay to. Ito yung leader sa financial sector.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully next week we can see na medyo mag-bounce siya off support. And then if mag-break, let's say, hypothetically, if mag-breakout siya above 135, so na yung susunod mo take profit dyan.
Yeah, agree.
Maybe you can look at maybe somewhere sa levels na to. Somewhere close to 150.
Mm-hmm.
So from the base upside mo, mga 20% pa, which is solid na from a blue chip company. So yan yung levels sa binabantayan mo. So guys, before I let you all go, kasi masama, medyo di na kaya. Guys, thank you naman tayo kay Cheska. Cheska, thank you for
Thank you everyone
for joining me tonight. So guys,
sorry, kinabakaban ako a bit, but then yeah, thank you.
Hindi, huwag ka kabahan. So, guys, comment tayo ng thank you, Cheska. So, di ko alam na 2 years ka pa sa market. So, guys, before I let you guys go, last na announcements lang ulit. Instagram's Trading Cup, promise, sobrang lupit nito kasi this time, merong guild na feature. I'll show you guys the guild before we end the stream. And then, of course, again, sana magkita-kita tayo bukas sa Road to Trading Cup. Tomorrow, pag wala akong sakit, o yan, si Renzo yung gagawa. Pero kung okay ako bukas, I will be interviewing si Kapitan Kidlat and his experience sa Trading Cup. Doon nag-rank 5 siya. And of course, pagkasama ka sa Trading Cup, naka-double up pass ka, yan, meron tayong mga paraffle for you tomorrow. So again, guys, just head over to investograms.com/tradingcup to get your ticket. So guys, actually, last na, gusto ko lang i-highlight yung bago feature yung guild. Kasi baka meron pa na confuse. So guys, pag kinik nyo itong multi-tool tab, click nyo yung guild, pakita ko na sa inyo. Ito yung guild. So ako kasi yung leader ng Investa nakaset ngayon. But if you go, ano ba yung point ng guild? Ano ba itong ginawa namin guild? So actually, anyone can create a guild. So medyo nawala na sa options ko kasi ako yung leader ng Investa Pero merong lalabas dito ng option na create your own guild sa taas. If you click that, you can create your own guild. Di ba? Gawa ka lang. Dati may pa-type 4 pa, pero ngayon, I believe na ayos na pwede nang, from the platform, pwede nang gumawa. So, what's the point of the guild? It's so you can, kasi ever since ginawa namin yung trading cup, marami nagsasabi na, sana may group, ganyan, may group, parang gusto namin i-represent yung mga tropa namin, yung team namin. But that's why we created the guild. So, does that mean kailangan may grupo ka para sumama sa trading cup? Hindi, you can join as an individual. Yung guild, parang bonus lang yan. So, yung prizes, individual pa rin. Right? Kung top 1 ka, top 10, individual yung prizes. But, if yung guild mo, parang, pag yung guild mo nanalo, meaning maraming sa top 20 is coming from one guild, that's how you win. The best performing guild can win up to an extra 100,000 pesos depending on the amount of members in the guild. Syempre, dapat madami. Tapos lumalaban din sa trading cup. You can win up to 100,000 pesos na bonus. Diba? So, how do you do that? Dapat maraming tao sa guild mo nakapasok sa top 20. Tapos matataas yung rank. So, check nyo na lang yung mechanics. Pero yun, I encourage you guys to create a guild, join a guild. Pag wala ka talagang community, merong mga public guild dyan, yung akin, tsaka yung kay JC. So yun, spot nyo na lang yan. Tapos yung magiging itsura ng rankings ngayon is, di ba dati rankings? Paano ko ba mapapakita yun? Walang ongoing ngayon. Ay, ito to. Dati, ganito lang yung itsura, di ba? Ay, teka. Di ko pala mapalabas. Teka. Paano ko ba mapapakita? Mapapakita ko ba dito? Ito, random competition. Sorry. Wala. Okay, never mind. Balik ko sige. Dati yung itsura is rankings, name, tapos profit mo, tapos percentage, di ba? Ngayon, meron din column para sa para sa guild kung saan ka kasali. So makikita mo si top 1 galing sa ang guild, si top 2 galing bang Open Journal, galing bang BOH, galing bang ZFT, or galing bang Sage Trader. So makikita mo talaga. So parang kayo mga tropa nyo, you still compete individually, but at the end of the day, meron ding bonus pag nanalo yung parang grupo mo. So again, it can be anyone. Pwede yung mga katropa mo, nagliliga kayo sa basketball, pwede mga kaklase mo sa school. Ito itong org ni Cheska, di ba? Kasama yun, Defensive Society DLSU. Yeah. So lalaban din yan sa trading cup. And marami pang iba. So yun, hopefully gawa din kayo ng guild. Tapos yun, ito nga, merong OFW Dubai Traders, that's public siya. So sali lang kayo. So hopefully ma-enjoy nyo itong guild feature. So gawa lang kayo ng guild. So yun. Yeah, so that ends the stream for tonight. Cheska, meron ka bang final message para sa mga nanonood?
Actually, like, this is my first time na mag-live charting, but then, yung mga nanood, they're also welcoming. Tapos, of course, like you also, Thomas. So, yeah, I would like to thank everyone talaga, and yeah, so for being so nice. And then, yeah, join kayo sa Investa Cup. So, since of course doon mahasay pa talaga yung pagte-trade nyo. If you don't know how to trade, then of course may marami talaga ako actually kilala na mas nahusay pati sa pag-trade nung nag-join sila ng Investa Cup, even though they don't have like any idea, since doon they were able to test their strategies, as well as were able to test kung paano sila mag-trade, and with that they were able to be a successful trader talaga pagkatapos ng Investa Cup. So yeah, join Investa Cup, and also I would like to thank you everyone for tonight. Have a great night, you all.
Yun. So instagram.com/trading cup. So Cheska, thank you din for joining. Pag wala ka, baka hindi ko na kayanin, hindi ko matuloy-tuloy. Medyo mas mapakiramdam ko. So guys, to everyone, maraming salamat din. Again, just hopefully you guys can join the trading cup, di ba? Promise, lulupit kayo dyan. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the week. And again, stay safe to everyone. Huwag maging katulad ko na masyado hardcore sa workout, tapos tatakbo sa ulan, tsaka pagpuyat. Health is wealth. So yun lang, good luck everyone for the upcoming trading week. Stay safe and God bless you lahat. So good night.
Good night. Bye.
Matutulog na. Okay, good night. Bye-bye.